Here comes the 1-0. That one fouled off of the mask of Constable, but he looks to be A-okay. So the count will move to 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. That one gets by Constable. And so now the T-Bolts have the tying run just one base away.
Apologies if you've been tuning into the broadcast. Looks like we were cut out there after the 4th inning, but in that time, in the top of the 5th, Big Train scratched across 1 run to take the lead again, 5-4.
Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That one's popped up way in the air. Williamson ranging into shallow right center field. He'll make the catch for out number 3. So nice range there from Williamson to secure the 3rd out of the inning. The Big Train stay ahead 5-4. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Juices in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner alone. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up. It'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Said hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Said hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move, boogie down. The juices in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner alone. Meet me in the corner alone. Meet me in the corner alone.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, where Bethesda leads 5-4 as we head into the top of the 6th inning. We just received word that, at least for you listeners at home, the 5th inning just straight up didn't happen, and I can assure you that it did. It's just that the broadcast was down, but we got it back up and running. So if you're wondering where that 5th run came from, it was courtesy of Josh Skoronsky singling home his Kentucky teammate Landon Franklin from second. We referenced Cleveland, Tennessee a good bit, and we apologize to those listening in, either representing Cleveland, Tennessee, or listening from Cleveland, Tennessee, I whipped out the old LeBron James quote from when after the Cleveland, Ohio Cavaliers won the 2016 NBA title, as Jordan Crosland flies that one into right field. That's caught by Walters for the first out of the inning. It's a shame because I felt like we were doing a good service to the people of Cleveland, Tennessee, shouting out the Volunteer State. But unfortunately, that will be lost into the deep depths of history.
So if you missed it,
I hope I could play a good roll of Cliff's Notes there for you all listening at home. As the first pitch to Andrew Williamson is an off-speed, low for a ball. I really felt like, I did not feel like I was LeBron James. That is a complete lie. But I felt like his spirit was here when I said, Cleveland, this is for you. As the 1-0 pitch is outside for a ball.
and so that you're not totally lost in confusion there, the connection to Cleveland, Ohio comes from
as that pitch is a fastball in there for a strike.
comes from Landon Franklin's grandfather, who is here tonight to support his grandson. He hails from Cleveland, Tennessee. Mentioned to us that he tunes into the broadcast frequently from his home in Cleveland.
So a very nice pregame word of encouragement from Mr. Franklin. Here comes the 2-1 to Williamson. That one's outside for ball 3. All right, I think we're all caught up now. Good job, Cliffs, noting that one. So here comes the 3-1 pitch to Williamson. That one's lined into right field for a base hit. That one looked exactly like the one Josh Skoronsky hit in the inning that was never broadcasted. So Williamson will board safely at first, and with one out here in the top of the 6th inning with a runner on first base is Davin Whitaker stepping up to the dish.
Big Train has had a lot of success in the top of the 5th inning that was unfortunately lost.
As that first pitch is low and inside for a strike.
That was unfortunately lost to the airwaves.
We're going to have to recreate the call the way Billy Bean constructed the Oakland Athletics in the early 2000s. We're going to have to recreate that in the aggregate. Here comes the 0-1. That off speed is lined into right center field. That'll drop for a base hit. So runners now on first and second for the Big Train with one out. And here comes the super slugger. The tantalizing bat from Virginia Tech, Matthew Westley.
So important to know from the top of the 5th inning that was unfortunately lost. Gonzalez struck out, unfortunately. Guerrero got a hit off, but it was caught. Franklin hit by the pitch to get onto first. Skoronsky with a base hit, and then Constable getting a hit off.
Here comes the first pitch to Westley. That one squirts through the legs of the catcher, Warner. Both runners will advance into scoring position. So the count now 1-0 on Matthew Westley. Here comes the pitch. A fastball upstairs for ball 2.
I think next time we'll go with a PG-friendly slips through the legs.
Poor choice of words from yours truly. As the count now 2-0 on Matthew Westley. Here comes the pitch. A fly ball into shallow right field. And that'll drop foul.
So Wesley returning to the plate for another 2-1 count. Again, you've got Davin Whitaker on second, Andrew Williamson on third, looking to cushion the Big Train's 1-run lead. Williamson's gotten a base hit in his previous 2 at-bats.
On deck is the first baseman, Emilio Gonzalez. Again, the count 2-1 to Wesley with 1 out and 2 runners in scoring position. Here comes the pitch. There's a ground ball through the whole left side, base hit. So Williamson will score from third. Whitaker held up at third, and the Big Train take a 6-4 lead here in the top of the 6th inning. That makes it 4 consecutive half innings with a run for Bethesda. A brilliant jump from yesterday's contest against the Crop Dusters.
I wholeheartedly agree with you there. We've mentioned it on the broadcast a couple of times in the previous Big Train games. We've been needing to see the bats come alive, and they are certainly alive and hot today.
Runners on the corners for Gonzalez with just 1 out. Here comes the pitch. A curveball in there for strike 1.
Big Train offense coming up big here tonight to hopefully bring the Big Train back to 500 mark in their record. Again, still looking for their first road win of the season. Perhaps their at-home jerseys that they're sporting here tonight are bringing them some luck, have had a lot of success at home this season. Again, Big Train is sporting their green at-home jerseys here tonight to avoid clashing with the Thunderbolts' all-white uniforms for at home. Big Train's typical on-the-road jerseys are black with a green lining around the neck. So the decision to sport the green jerseys here tonight was made to avoid clashing with the T-Bolts, a problem they did not have last night when they faced the Crop Dusters, who were sporting their very unique and fun overall-esque at-home jerseys.
So after a quick stoppage in play, we resume action. The count 0-1 and Gonzalez 1 out. Runners on the corners. Big Train leading by 2. Here comes the pitch. Another curveball. That one's high and inside for a ball. As I see out of the left corner of my eye, former Big Train General Manager Chris Rogers looking awfully spiffy in a dress shirt and jeans. Here comes the 1-1. Runner goes. Westerly will make it to second without a throw. So the count now 2-1 on Gonzalez. Now 2 runners in scoring position for the Big Train.
And again, only 1 out on the board. Already with a 2-run lead, looking to cushion it even further to put the T-Bolts in a stronghold.
As time is called once again, we're going to have a mound visit. We should also probably mention, I don't think we've done this. Slight broadcasting malpractice on our part. It is a new pitcher for the T-Bolts. It's going to be Andrew Powers, who started in the lineup as a designated hitter. But as we saw on Sunday,
also doubles as a pitcher. So he's stepping in for number 17, Bobby McDonough, who was the reliever for starting pitcher John Carver.
So play resuming. The count 2-1 on Gonzalez. 2 runners in scoring position. That one swung on and missed for strike 2. Jack Guerrero waiting on deck. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Inside for a ball 3.
So Gonzalez now staring down a full count pitch. Only 1 out on the board for the Big Train. 2 runners in scoring position.
Powers has been testing Gonzalez high and inside. Let's see if he sticks with it here on the full count pitch. That one low and outside for ball 4. So Gonzalez will take his base. That'll load the bases with 1 out for Jack Guerrero.
Guerrero got a hit off at his last at-bat. His second at-bat tonight, he got a base hit with bases fully loaded, hoping to capitalize on this situation and really cushion that lead for the Big Train, who are standing 6-4 at the moment.
The first pitch to Guerrero is in there for a strike.
Now on deck, Landon Franklin, who in the top of the 5th, which was lost to the airwaves. Franklin was hit by a pitch to get some momentum started for the Big Train.
The 0-1 to Guerrero. A curveball gets him swinging and missing for strike 2. So most of Powers' curveballs up to this point have been high inside or both, but that one low and outside, getting Guerrero leaning. And now the James Madison Duke in an 0-2 hole with 1 out and the bases loaded. Big Train leading 6-4. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So another curveball low and outside gets Guerrero swinging.
His first K of the night.
That'll bring up Landon Franklin with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Again, Franklin's hit by pitch, got him on base.
The first pitch to Franklin's a fastball low and inside for a ball.
Got him on base in the top of the 5th inning, which put the Big Train in position to score their 5th run of the night.
Here comes the 1-0. That one just inside the right corner for a strike. So the count now 1-1 on Franklin. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That fastball's fouled off. So the count now 1-2 on Franklin with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. The Big Train leading 6-4.
Again, Franklin has family in the stands tonight. His grandfather, who hails from Clements, Tennessee. We just wanted to...
As the 1-2 pitch is in the dirt for a ball.
We just wanted to thank Landon Franklin's grandfather for tuning in to the broadcast. He stopped by our setup before the game to let us know that he tunes into every game from his home in Cleveland, Tennessee.
The 2-2 pitch. High and inside for ball 3. Josh Skoronsky waiting on deck. Drove Franklin in via an RBI single, his last at-bat for Bethesda's 5th run of the evening. The 3-2 pitch. Paints the outside corner for strike 3. So the Big Train leave the bases loaded, but for the 4th consecutive half inning, score a run. They lead it 6-4. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 6th inning here on Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, where Bethesda leads 6-4 as we're set to start the bottom of the 6th inning with the catcher Ethan Warner leading off for the T-Bolts. Here comes the first pitch from Thomas. A fastball slightly high, but getting Ethan Warner swinging for a strike. The 0-1 pitch, high and outside for a ball. Here comes the 1-1 offering. Another fastball in there for a strike. So Thomas opening the bottom of the 6th with 3 consecutive heaters. Here comes the 1-2. Make that 4 consecutive heaters. That one low and outside for a ball. Count now 2-2 on Ethan Warner.
Again, T-Bolts have been held scoreless for 2 consecutive Sorry.
Yeah, you got that.
No,
no, one. Just one.
Just
one.
one. I
That fastball just outside the top right corner. Excuse me.
forgot for a moment that at the T-Bolts Stadium, they put a 0 on the scoreboard at the start of the inning to record which inning or half inning we've moved into.
As the full count pitch is a fastball low and outside for ball 4. So the leadoff batter aboard once again for the T-Bolts. That'll bring up the third baseman, Bryce Curry.
Again, you mentioned this earlier in the broadcast. T-Bolts have a strong pop at the end of their lineup. You don't see a lot in baseball, but it served them well so far as they were able to put up a 3 spot in the bottom of the 4th inning to tie up the game.
Curry entering tonight just 5 of 29. Looking to reverse his fortunes. There's a high fly ball in our left field as Whitaker gets under that for the out. So a quick at-bat there from Curry, as that'll bring up the designated hitter slash current pitcher, Andrew Powers.
That's right, in the top of the 6th inning, we saw a pitching change from reliever Bobby McDonough to now 8th hitter, number 25, Andrew Powers.
The first pitch to Powers. That one's fouled out of play. So the count 0-1 on Powers with 1 out and a runner on first. The 0-1 offering outside for a ball.
The sun is fully set here. Sky has grown dark. Stadium lights are on here as you can faintly hear some crickets chirping over the crowd mic.
There's a lot of forest for them to perch in beyond the outfield wall as the 1-1 pitch is outside for ball 2.
A lot of foliage behind the right field fence, apparently home to a decomposing pig, which is of course used for science and learning.
As the 2-1 pitch paints the low outside corner for a strike. That'll bring the count to 2-2. Runner on first for the T-Bolts. 1 out. The home team trailing 6-4. Here comes the pitch. High and outside for ball 3.
Again, T-Bolts were held scoreless in the previous half inning. They've flip-flopped during this game, being held scoreless in the bottom of the 1st.
The 3-2 pitch is lined through the hole on the right side. Base hit. Ethan Warner will stop at second. That ball was absolutely laced by the DH, Andrew Powers. So now there are runners on first and second for the left fielder, Quincy Villa. Just 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning The T-Bolts looking to rally late.
Again, as I was saying, T-Bolts have flip-flopped here tonight. Held scoreless in the bottom of the first. Got a run on in the bottom of the second. Held scoreless in the bottom of the third. Put up a 3 spot in the bottom of the fourth. Held scoreless in the bottom of the fifth. We'll see if they continue this pattern here. So they've now got 2 runners aboard. Only 1 out on the board.
Here comes the first pitch to Villa. Low and outside for a ball. So like the big train, the Thunderbolts also sit at 4 and 5. Both teams trying to play catch up. The Giants currently sit at 5 and 5. Crop Dusters baseball leading the North Division at 6 and 5. The 1-0 to Villa in there for a strike. I will say the parity amongst the 8 teams here in the CRS CBL has been very strong. No team with fewer than 4 wins, no team with greater than 6. The 1-1 pitch is inside for a ball. The Aces currently sport the best record by winning percentage in the league at 6 and 3, although they have played 2 fewer games than the Crop Dusters, who also have 6 wins.
Big train.
2-1 pitch is laced to second, fielded by Carlson on to second for 1, and that one is overthrown. But they rule Villa out. I'm not exactly sure for what, but the umpire at second base wasting no time calling Villa out. We'll have to get a ruling during the half-inning break, but a really nice break for the big train as they maintain a 6-4 lead heading into the top of the 7th inning. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Meet me in the corner, love, boogie down, mix up, boogie down, fix up. The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, where the road train leads 6-4 as we're set to start the top of the 7th. We're joined once again by our lovely sideline reporter, Kaylee Tallman, who just ate an ice cream cone, probably in the quickest amount of time I've seen someone eat an ice cream cone. So you have my personal world record. I don't know if we need to get Guinness involved, but that might be a future endeavor we'll test later in the season.
That is a fun fact about me. I can eat very quickly.
As the first pitch to Josh Skoronsky, a big swing and a miss for a strike.
I'm the complete opposite, unfortunately. My friends always comment on how slowly I eat. I get a little frustrated when we go out to eat together.
That's just called enjoying your food. As the 0-1 fastball to Skoronsky swung on and missed for strike 2.
I think, unfortunately, it's more just my need to yap constantly.
I eat quick enough so I can yap afterward.
That's basically a superpower, as the curveball's outside for ball 1.
I like that mentality. Eat first, yap later.
Exactly. They don't call us professional talkers for a reason.
Exactly.
So the count now 1-2 on Skoronsky. Here comes the pitch, a swing and a miss for strike 3. So the new pitcher, Nick Keene, gets Skoronsky down swinging. And that will bring up the catcher, Cole Constable.
Nick Keene, T-Bolt's second baseman for tonight, now on the mound, relieving number 25, Andrew Powers.
It's been an interesting course of the last couple innings for the Big Train. Pretty consistent, scoring 1 run in each of the last 3 innings. And then obviously their big third inning before that. Whereas the T-Bolts have kind of slowed down.
As there's a big swing and a miss from Constable. So the count will move to 0-2 with Jordan Crosland waiting on deck.
That's right, I was commenting just before the conclusion of the 6th inning that
0-2 pitch is high for a ball.
the T-Bolts had been flip-flopping between being held scoreless and then putting a run on the board. Now held scoreless for 2 consecutive innings.
It's funny you mentioned Jordan Crosland up next. I said he spent a lot of time on the ground today.
As that pitch is outside for another ball.
Certainly wearing his work from tonight.
I think if you finish a baseball game with no dirt on your pants, you're doing it wrong.
Unless, of course, you're playing on turf.
As the 2-2 pitch is in there for strike 3. So a nasty curveball from Keene gets Constable down looking. So with 2 outs and no one on, that'll bring up Jordan Crosland.
So Kaylee, Big Train still looking for their first road win of the season. It's looking pretty good right here, but we don't want to speak too early. What do you think the Big Train needs to do to pull out the win tonight?
Well, it's never over till it's over, right? We've learned that earlier this season.
First pitch is high and outside for a ball.
Especially during the Big Train's first meeting with the T-Bolts.
Exactly. So I don't, again, want to speak too soon. But again, I kind of talked about this at the very beginning of the game. It's not trying to swing for the fences, especially right now.
1-0 pitch. There's some high heat from Keene getting Crosland swinging for a strike.
Kind of like that. There's no need for a home run right now. Obviously, that would be nice, but there is no need for it. Just getting on base, not playing risky. The Big Train have gotten caught a couple times sort of between bases. Not as much today, not at all actually today, which has been an improvement.
2-1 pitch is fouled off by Crosland. That'll bring the count to 2-2.
But just kind of looking for walks, looking for base hits instead of obviously striking out.
So playing a more calm and little by little game here.
As Crosland swings and misses at the pitch low in the dirt for strike 3. So an efficient first half inning in relief for Keene. The Big Train remain ahead 6-4. We're going to stretch as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Sweet suburbia, some
Welcome back to Montgomery Blair High School here in Silver Spring, Maryland, where the Bethesda Big Train hold a 6-4 lead over the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. Kaylee's going to stay with us for the bottom half of the 7th inning as the top of the lineup set to hit here for the T-Bolts. Jeff Sabater leading things off. And we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Big Train. It is Jake Villar, as his first pitch is a slider in there for strike one.
Now, we have yet to see Villar take the mound as a reliever for the Big Train this summer. He started off on the mound twice so far.
As the 0-1 pitch is low for a ball.
His last appearance, he started off on the mound for the Big Train's last at-home win.
Just a couple days ago.
Here comes the 1-1 offering. There's another off-speed pitch in there for a strike.
Sabater yet to get a hit off tonight.
If I'm reading that correctly, is he on the verge of his 4th strikeout of the game? The 1-2 pitch, chopped to short, fielded by Franklin on to first. The throw off the mark as Gonzalez had to come off the bag to make that catch. So Sabater is aboard first. That'll bring up the second baseman, well, I guess now the pitcher, Nick Keene. Now an important note about Jeff Sabater. Emulating the spirit of Ricky Henderson on the base paths, last season for Millersville broke a 37-year-old program record in a Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference record for stolen bases in a season with 57. An absolutely absurd number for a single collegiate season.
And almost as if he could hear you, which maybe he could as we are sitting right behind the home plate, was staring down his potential 4th strikeout of the evening, decided to get onto first base instead.
In the words of Michael Jordan, he took it personally.
That's now your 2nd basketball reference of the night. Unfortunately, the first one was lost to the airwaves.
He's edging over to second base there as we speak.
As the 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Keene trying to bunt Sabater over to second.
Got a base hit in his last at-bat. Hoping to see some similar success at the plate.
There goes Sabater for second. Villar's going to try to get him in a pickle. But Sabater is safe at second. So even though Villar made the correct move of throwing it over to Gonzalez, catching Sabater in the middle of first and second, this guy's a wizard on the base path, still making it over even when his back was against the wall.
It's like he had fire coming out of his heels. There was a cloud of dust as he sprinted over to second base. I would say, I mean, the Big Train have got Jaden Bastian, who's got some wheels. He's putting up some good competition there.
So now the count's still 2-1 on Keene. Looking to bunt again. That pitch is going to be called a strike as Keene kept his bunt on a ball that was in the dirt. So the count now 2-2 with no outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
I think it's funny you brought up fire, Kaylee, because Quentin made some comments about the connections to the T-Bolts and Fire playing at Montgomery Blair High School, who are the Blazers, being right next to a fire department. I'm not sure if your comments there were in the broadcast or if it was during the lost 5th inning.
As the 2-2 pitch is grounded foul down the third base line. So the count will remain 2-2 as the shortstop Josh Erd waits on deck.
The dugouts are getting increasingly louder, or in the Big Train's case, the bullpen, as we get later into this game.
Tensions rising, drama building as the Big Train maintain just a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Here comes the 2-2. Outside for ball 3.
We've relayed this again and again throughout the broadcast during these two teams' first appearance. They really battled hard. We expected no less from them here tonight. Again, them both sitting in a similar position in the bottom of the Northern Division.
The 3-2 pitch is hit high and deep into left field. Back goes Whitaker at the wall. He makes the catch of the warning track. Sabater will remain at second. So a loud out there from Keene. That'll bring up the shortstop, Josh Erd. Sabater still on second now with one out in the bottom of the 7th.
Whitaker doing well in the left field. Haven't seen him taking that position in the field yet this season.
And it looks like we have a pinch hitter on deck for the T-Bolts, number 15, Jonathan McMath, the on-deck gravel, as there's no on-deck circle to be found. The first pitch to Erd is grounded down the third base line, but foul. That one looked really close from our angle, but the big train catching a break as that one rolled all the way into the corner. A ball that would have likely scored the speedy Sabater from second. I guess it's alliteration hour here on this lovely Thursday evening.
You have a tendency for alliteration, I've noticed.
I was a big fan of poetry back in elementary school. My third grade teacher, Miss Lease, really instilling the love for that in me.
Somehow that does not surprise me.
The 0-1 to Erd, painting the lower outside corner for a strike. Big fan of haikus back in the day. Short, simple, efficient, only 3 lines.
Was that 575 syllables?
You betcha. Look at you.
Thank you. I actually was also a big fan of poetry.
That is
back in the
absolutely
day.
nothing to be ashamed about.
I think I'm a little ashamed.
Why?
Poetry?
Poetry. Poetry. Come on, embrace it.
Okay.
It's a cool attribute.
Can't say I was a big fan of writing poetry in elementary school.
The 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3.
But I am a fan of rap music, which is sort of a modern day poetry.
Music is an interesting topic because I do the unthinkable thing of listening to music for the tune rather than the lyrics, which doesn't exactly bode well for rap music for me. So I've never really gotten into it, but maybe if I switched my approach, I would like it more.
Variety is the spice of life, Kaylee. I'm sure your dad has said that at least once.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So again, a pinch hitter here with 2 outs and a runner on second. It's going to be Jonathan McMath out of Marymount University. Led the team in home runs this past season with 9, second on the team in RBIs with 45.
The big train stared him down in their previous meeting with the T-Bolts.
As the first pitch to McMath is in there for a strike.
McMath hailing from Brooksville, Florida. He recently transferred to Marymount out of Montgomery College. Again, a rising junior.
The 0-1 swung on and missed for strike 2.
McMath was an NJCAA D2 All-American during his time at Montgomery College.
It's funny you mentioned Florida. We've talked to a lot of the guys here coming from the South, and us interns have been complaining about the heat. And they are like, oh, it's nothing compared to down in the South. So this Floridian.
As the 0-2 pitch hits McMath.
Is likely enjoying the break.
And it might have gotten Constable too, as McMath is going to take his base. Constable having to walk that one off. So now runners on first and second for Silver Spring-Takoma. The tying run being represented by McMath at first base. The right fielder Matthew Walter stepping up to the plate as the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Again, T-Bolts were held scoreless for 2 consecutive innings. Villar hoping
The first pitch to Walters is low and inside for a ball.
Villar hoping to maintain that success from the mound in his first appearance as a reliever for the Big Train.
The 1-0 swung on and missed for strike one. The 1-1 offering outside for ball two. Again, Walters representing the go-ahead run. The Big Train ahead just 6-4 here in the bottom of the seventh, as that one's popped out of play into foul territory. So a money pitch here for Villar, looking to strand runners on first and second and keep his team ahead by 2. Here comes the pitch. Grounded to third. Fielded cleanly by Guerrero, and he gets the force out for out number 3. So Villar strands 2 as the Big Train maintain their 2-run lead. Thank you once again, Kaylee, for joining us here on the broadcast. I'll send you a few poems when we get home tonight to hopefully try and reinvigorate a love for the subject. I'm telling you, it is... I think you should embrace it. I don't think you should run from it.
Maybe we can have a poetry competition. And
We should
come
have
up with one haiku competition.
Some slam poetry at Shirley Povich Field. You heard it here first.
We can incorporate it into our intern night.
Exactly.
We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, where Bethesda maintains a 6-4 lead as we start the top of the 8th inning with a ball to Andrew Williamson. Thanks once again to our sideline reporter, Kaylee Tallman, for joining us here under the bleachers at Montgomery Blair High School, as the 1-0 pitch is a curveball in there for a strike.
Your leadoff hitter for the bottom of
Top of the
8th inning. Again, the zeros on the scoreboard throw me off, although I do see the benefit to it as showing what inning you're currently in. I'm just not quite used to it.
The 2-1 to Williamson, outside and high. 4-3. Davin Whitaker waiting on deck.
Whitaker having a lot of success here tonight. His previous at-bat getting a base hit.
3-1 to Williamson is inside for ball 4. So the leadoff hitter aboard for the Big Train. That will send up the East Carolina Pirate, Davin Whitaker. As we get a lovely hello from the one, the only Ian DeMaca, representing the UConn Huskies on his polo tonight, telling us pregame both of his parents are UConn grads, as That pitch from Whitaker is lined out into right field for a base hit. Williamson speeding to third. The throw is not in time.
Whitaker, 2 base hits in a row. Now putting the big train in a very advantageous position. Runners on the corners, no outs on the board for a very big bat in the big train lineup, Matthew Wesley.
Now, in this situation, I would usually call the person saying that a homer, as he, like you, is a Virginia Tech Hokie, but you are not wrong. I will not call you a homer because he is arguably the most powerful bat in this big train lineup. Looking to do some damage here and put the big train up by more than 2, as the first pitch from Keene is an off-speed in there for a strike. We have not seen a run from either team since the top of the 6th inning. Here comes the 0-1 to Wesley. That one's inside for a ball.
Big train looking to change that and put another on the board to cushion their 2-run lead.
Emilio Gonzalez waiting on deck. The 1-1 pitch fouled off down the right field line and over the T-Bolts bullpen. So the count moves to 1-2.
T-Bolts have been held scoreless for the previous 3 consecutive innings. Big Train hasn't been held scoreless for consecutive innings since the first 2 innings of the night.
As a ball from behind the fence down the first base line was thrown back onto the field. So we had to stop play for a moment, but now we resume. Wesley facing a 1-2 count with no outs and runners on the corners. Here comes the pitch. That one hits Wesley in the head. He's A-OK. As he'll walk down to first.
The second hit by pitch the Big Train squad has seen tonight. Again, Franklin taking the first, which was lost in the 5th inning call.
So Wesley will take his base at first. Once again, he's A-OK. As Emilio Gonzalez will step up to the plate with bases loaded and no outs.
Again, Big Train now staring down a very advantageous situation. Bases loaded, no outs on the board. Already hold the lead, have the potential to cushion it here. As again, Nick Keene on the mound for the T-Bolts.
The first pitch to Gonzalez is in there for a strike. Big Train batters have seen a healthy mix of sliders, curveballs, and fastballs from Keene thus far. Here comes the 0-1. High fastball out of the zone for ball 1. Here comes the 1-1. Off speed, fouled off by Gonzalez. So the count moves to 1-2.
Gonzalez's previous 4 at-bats, he's seen a pattern of strike, walk, looking to break that pattern.
The 1-2 to Gonzalez. High and outside for a ball. Jack Guerrero waiting on deck. Here comes the 2-2. Inside, getting past Warner, but that one bounced right back to him off the backstop, keeping Williamson at third. So a big break there from the T-Bolts, or at least for the T-Bolts, as the count moves full on Gonzalez. Here comes the 3-2. Gonzalez checked his swing. He did not go on the ball in the dirt. And so run number 7 will cross the plate. And the Big Train extend their lead to 3.
Again, I mentioned Gonzalez, his previous 4 at-bats, he saw a flip-flop of strike, walk, effectively breaking that pattern, and what a way to do it with bases loaded. He walks in the 7th run. Now number 23, Jack Guerrero, on deck to pitch, as we'll see a conclusion of the mound visit to Keene. Again, night has fallen here at Montgomery Blair High School. You can hear the faint chirping of crickets over the crowd mic.
So Guerrero will dig in, looking to add on to this lead. Again, bases loaded with no outs. The first pitch to Guerrero paints the outside corner for a strike.
So again, Big Train has not been held scoreless for consecutive innings since the first 2 innings, whereas the T-Bolts have been held scoreless for the past 3 consecutive innings.
As Guerrero lifts a high fly ball into center, back goes Sabater at the wall. He makes the catch of the warning track, but Whitaker will tag up and score on the sacrifice fly, and the Big Train take an 8-4 lead.
Looks like we've got a pinch hitter in Chris Diaz on deck.
As Landon Franklin steps up to the plate. With runners on first and second, just 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. First pitch to Franklin's a fastball in there for a strike.
I mentioned it briefly at the start of the game. Got the chance to speak to Diaz before the game. He mentioned that the starting pitcher for the Big Train tonight, Will Clements.
As a pickoff attempt at second is unsuccessful.
Will Clements is his current roommate for the summer. They are sharing a host family for the summer.
The count 0-1 on Landon Franklin. Here comes the pitch. Off speed, upstairs for ball 1.
The Big Train squad has got a lovely assortment of host families who very graciously open their homes up every summer for our Big Train players.
The 1-1 to Franklin. Fastball outside for ball 2.
We often see them attending the home games to cheer on their players that they've taken in for the summer. A huge thank you to them for opening their homes so that our Big Train players.
Franklin will foul that one off for strike 2.
Have a place to stay, as they do come from all over the country to play for the Bethesda Big Train, and it wouldn't be possible without their host families.
Have some Californians, residents from Alabama, Tennessee as well. One of those Tennesseans, Landon Franklin, in a 2-2 count. Here comes the pitch, outside for ball 3.
Big Train already with a cushioned 4-run lead. 2 runners on base, only 1 out on the board, have the chance to extend that lead even further and make things really difficult for the T-Bolts.
Another pickoff attempt at second, unsuccessful.
A difficult play to make, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast. We've now seen it 3 times tonight.
Have to spin almost 270 degrees to do so. The 3-2 to Franklin. A swing and a miss for strike 3. The throw down to second is in time for the out. So an inning-ending double play. A Franklin strikeout. Gonzalez thrown out of it second on the double steal. But the Big Train score 2. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network for the bottom of the 8th inning. Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, where the road train leads 8-4 as we're set to start the bottom of the 8th inning. Leading off is the catcher, Ethan Warner, facing a new pitcher for the Big Train, Aiden Kelly. Here comes the first pitch to Warner.
That one.
Upstairs and flying right into our faces.
If you heard a loud clunk over the crowd mic, it's because hit the wall behind home plate, which is what we are sitting behind.
Kelly already did that once in warm-ups as the off-speed is outside for ball 2. I will say I would like to call myself someone with nerves of steel, but I think my nerves are as steely as whatever is not in Pittsburgh, as the 2-0 pitch is high for ball 3.
Whatever is not in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, the Steel City.
Everything outside of the Steel City.
Yes. I flinched like I was watching The Conjuring for the first time, as the 3-0 pitch paints the inside corner for a strike.
Well, that's better than the little yelp I let out during the warm-ups when it hit the wall.
The 3-1. High for ball 4. I just flinched so hard at a pitch that was fully caught by Cole Constable.
Thankfully, we've got Cole Constable behind the plate.
Our fearless protector.
Yes, he is. Excellent behind the plate. Great glove on him. Great with the blocks.
As Bryce Curry will step back into the batter's box with a runner on and no outs. Do
you want to say during the break, I noticed that the Backside Ground Balls podcast was promoting on their social media some T-shirts for Virginia Tech Hokie Ben Watson, who's representing Virginia Tech on the 2024 ABCA Rawlings NCAA Division I Atlantic All-Region second team. It's extra exciting for me, because not only am I also a Hokie, but
Big swing and a miss from Curry. The count now 1-1.
but last summer I was the producer for the Backside Ground Balls podcast. So a double connection there.
The 1-1 to Curry, high and inside. That one he actually had a reason to flinch.
It nearly hit him, but he ducked out of the way in time.
We're just a couple of scaredy cats back here behind home plate. Curry lifts this one into shallow right center field, but that one's caught by Crosland for the out. That one off the end of the bat of Curry. And that will bring up a pinch hitter.
It's number 32 for the T-Bolts.
Up to that now, number 32, Ryan Quadros.
It's going to be Ryan Quadros.
He was not a part of the original lineup roster posted on the Cal Ripken League website.
As Quadros will foul the first pitch off for a strike.
A new face since the Big Train's last contest with the T-Bolts.
The 0-1 to Quadros is upstairs for a ball. Here comes the 1-1 from Kelly. Quadros lifts this one into right center field. Williamson's under it for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up the 9-hitter Quincy Villa, who was called out for interference. His last time at the dish. At least he was called out for interference at first base, trying to break up the double play.
That's right in the bottom of the 7th inning. We commented that we were unclear on what had happened
As the off speed from Kelly in there for strike one.
during the double play that resulted in the end of the conclusion of the 7th inning, but
The 0-1 fastball is high for ball number one.
our general manager was able to let us know that it was interference disrupting the double play that resulted in the final out of the 7th inning.
Here comes the 1-1. The sinker is low and outside for ball two. Aiden Kelly rocks with a lethal sinker, one that was just showed there, to go along with a high velocity fastball. Here comes the 2-1. There is that fastball, and that gets Villa swinging and missing for strike two. So the Big Train just a strike away from keeping this game at 8-4. Runner goes as that one's fouled off into the netting behind home plate.
So we'll have to track on back over to first.
The 2-2 pitch. Sinker, a check swing. Did he go? No, he did not, says the first base umpire. So that'll move the count full.
Again, Constable quick with the block behind it. Excellent defense from our catcher for tonight, Cole Constable.
Runner goes on the full count pitch, and that fastball's low and outside for ball four. So Villa will take his base, and that'll kick it back to the top of the lineup with Jeff Sabater stepping up to the plate.
Villa, that was just his third at bat for tonight, has gotten contact on the ball during all three. Or during the first two, getting a walk on his third. So has been yet to be struck out.
The first pitch to Sabater, high and inside for a ball.
Sabater, on the other hand, was staring down his 4th strike of the night when he got a base hit during his 4th at-bat. Now at the plate for his 5th at-bat.
That one gets by Constable, so both runners will advance into scoring position as that one deflected off of the chest padding of the catcher Constable. As manager Sal Colangelo is going to come out and check on him. Constable in a little bit of pain. And it looks like Constable will walk this one off and stay in the game. So the count now 2-0 on Sabater. 2 runners in scoring position for the T-Bolts. Looking to rally late and avoid dropping to 4 and 6. Here comes the pitch. That one's lined to the second baseman, Crosland. He gets it on to first for out number 3. So Kelly strands a pair in scoring position. The Big Train maintaining an 8-4 lead. We'll be back with the top of the 9th here on Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. We're set to start the top of the 9th with a pinch hitter. It's Christopher Diaz subbing in for Josh Skowronski in the 8th spot as the first pitch from Keene is high and outside for a ball. So Diaz taking Skowronski's place in right field that last half inning.
Now taking his position at the plate, pinch hitting for the 8th hitter.
The 1-0 pitch is a fastball in the dirt for ball number 2.
So the Big Train with a 4-run lead at the moment.
Here comes the 2-0. Just outside for ball 3.
Though again, as we saw during their last contest with the T-Bolts, and as our lovely sideline reporter Kaylee Tallman commented while she was on the mic with us, it's not over till it's over.
3-0 pitch is right down Main Street for a strike.
And in the sport of baseball, you can't get comfortable.
In the sport of
Everything.
most things, you cannot get comfortable. The 3-1 pitch is fouled off by Diaz for strike 2. Cole Constable waiting on deck. The full count offering. Swung on and missed for strike 3, as Warner will get the ball in the dirt down to first to confirm the strikeout. So Diaz is sent down swinging. A great job by Keene to battle back from a 3-0 deficit. And so with 1 out, no one on, that'll bring up the catcher, Cole Constable.
And now catcher Cole Constable.
Constable has had a lot of success in his three of his 4 at bats tonight, starting off the night with a base hit.
The first pitch to Constable's an off speed, low and away for a ball. The 1-0 pitch high and inside. That one whizzing right past the oculars.
Like your use of synonyms there. You're staring at me, and I know I almost said cinnamon again. Stop.
So the count now 3-0 on Cole Constable. As that one just painting the corner high and inside for a strike. Constable thought that was ball 4, but he'll have to step back into the box for another pitch. The 3-1 offering. That one's high and inside for ball 4. So Constable will take his base once again. He's been doing an awful lot of walking tonight as fellow Terrapin Jordan Crosland steps up to the dish.
Crosland also had good amount of success at the plate, getting 2 hits tonight and 1 walk.
Crosland rips that one into left field, but it is caught.
A diving effort from Quincy Villa, or I guess more of a sliding effort.
That was more of a descent to the knees, as he had a little bit of trouble tracking it, but came up with the putout nonetheless.
Don't blame him, as it's gotten incredibly dark here at Montgomery Blair High School.
I will say outfielding under the lights is no easy endeavor, as Andrew Williamson steps up to the plate and fouls the first pitch off.
Williamson with a walk at his previous at-bat. Back-to-back base hits. Before that,
here comes the 0-1 to Williamson, outside for a ball.
on deck, Davin Whitaker, who also had back-to-back base hits tonight.
The 1-1 upstairs for ball 2.
As the balls whiz past the Big Train players, you can see a cloud of dust form as they are wearing their efforts of tonight on their jerseys.
The 2-1 pitch is in there for a strike. So the count now 2-2 on Williamson with 2 outs and a runner on first. The Big Train still up by 4. The 2-2. That off speed is high for ball 3. Davin Whitaker waiting on deck.
Two outs on the board with 1 runner aboard. Big Train already with a 4-run lead.
The 3-2 pitch is popped up and out of play down the left field line into the Big Train bullpen.
Again, as you've mentioned, a lot of foliage around the field.
The 3-2 pitch is inside for ball 4. So a great at-bat there from Williamson. He, like Constable, works a walk And that'll bring up Davin Whitaker with 2 on and 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning.
A lot of foliage around Montgomery Blair High School field, and with that comes a lot of critters making noise as the sun has fully set and we've reached the 10 o'clock hour.
As Whitaker fouls the first pitch off for a strike. So once again, runners on first and second. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning with Davin Whitaker and a 0-1 count. Here comes the pitch. Off speed is fouled off down the first base line. So that'll move the count to 0-2. Kane looking to keep this game at 8-4.
Now Whitaker was hit by the pitch during his first at bat, but since then he's gotten contact on the ball each of his appearances tonight.
The 0-2 outside for a ball.
Again, recording back-to-back RBIs in his previous 2 at-bats.
Here comes the 1-2. Upstairs for ball 2.
So Whitaker extending his at-bat appearance, staying alive at the plate.
The 2-2. Off speed just outside for a ball. So Whitaker has battled back and worked the count full. Landon Franklin. Just kidding. Matthew Wesley standing on deck for the big train. The full count pitch. Off speed is popped way up in the air into shallow left field. Villa ranging all the way in to the border of the dirt and the grass to make the out. So Bethesda strands a pair, but they maintain their 8-4 lead as we head into the bottom of the 9th. We'll be right back on the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to Montgomery Blair High School here in Silver Spring, Maryland, where the Big Train are looking to close this one out, ahead 8-4 in the bottom of the 9th. As Nick Kane will lead off the inning for the T-Bolts. Aiden Kelly set to face 2-3-4 as the first pitch to Kane is an off-speed pitch upstairs for a ball.
Keene just on the mound for the T-Bolts held Big Train scoreless in the top of the 9th.
The 1-0 pitch is lined over the glove of Guerrero at third and into left for a base hit. So Keene is aboard with a leadoff single, and that'll bring up the shortstop Josh Erd.
Batting now for the 3-hole, number 7, Josh Erd.
That hot corner has been on lock for essentially the entirety of this game. That one a howitzer whizzing by the glove of Guerrero. The first pitch to Erd. High for ball 1.
Big Train currently staring down their first road win of the season as we come into the final half inning. But as we've mentioned time and again, it's not over till it's over.
That one painting the outside quarter for a strike. That frame from Constable could have been put in a museum. The 1-1. High for ball 2.
During these two teams' last contest with each other, we watched the Big Train put up an 8 spot in the bottom of the 8th. No doubt the T-Bolts hoping to replicate some of that success in the bottom of the 9th.
The 2-1 pitch high and inside for ball 3. Waiting on deck is the pinch hitter, Jonathan McMath.
During McMath's
3-1 pitch is fouled off into the backstop.
during McMath's previous pinch hitting appearance, he was hit by a pitch, getting him onto first.
As the home plate umpire sweeps off the Pentagon at home plate.
The strong gusts of wind here making it difficult to keep the plate clean.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch, high for ball 4. So that'll bring up McMath with runners on first and second and no outs. As we're going to have a mound visit between Constable and Aiden Kelly. Jonathan McMath, a big bat for Marymount University. As I said earlier, led MU in home runs with 9 last season, was second on the team in RBIs with 45. And last summer for the T-Bolts, registered 21 hits, 2 home runs, and 16 RBIs. Let's see if the former Montgomery College Raptor can take a baseball on a flight.
Again, the T-Bolts looking for a 5 spot to walk away the victors and avenge themselves from their previous meeting with the Big Train.
So the mound visit is over. Everyone resumes their normal positions. Here comes the first pitch to McMath. That one's outside for a ball. The 1-0 pitch. Upstairs for ball 2.
Can see the Big Train squad.
2-0 pitch is high for ball 3. And with every ball and every T-Bolt success, their bench becomes louder and louder. The 3-0 offering, high for ball 4. So McMath takes an efficient walk, and now the tying run steps up to the plate. Matthew Walters looking to come up clutch for his team.
He's gotten a hit off at each of his 4 at-bats tonight. Another mound visit over to Kelly.
And it looks like we might have a pitching change, as the bullpen gate has opened on Bethesda's side. They're gonna call the owl, Max Martzoff. in to try and stop the bleeding here in the bottom of the ninth. As Kelly's outing will conclude.
You mentioned the Thunderbolts dugout coming alive. You see all the players in the dugout excitedly hanging over the fence. Not much different over on the Big Train side. Dugout players hanging over the fence in anticipation of their first road win of the season as it hangs in the bounds at the moment.
So Martzoff looking to avenge his last outing that was similar to this, as he gave up a walk-off 2 RBI base hit to Danny Sheeler in Bethesda's loss to Gaithersburg not too long ago.
As we mentioned about Big Train's last contest with the Giants, we saw the bunting strategy being implemented to perfection by the Giants, which resulted in their walk-off win. After that contest, we saw the Big Train squad make a quick change in strategy as we watched first baseman Emilio Gonzalez charge in after every bunting attempt. Those quick changes in play and strategy speak to manager Sal Colangelo's winning mentality and the due diligence of the Big Train squad to make quick changes to make those wins happen for manager Sal Colangelo and themselves.
So Martzoff's warm-up pitches are done. Now it's time for the real deal. Let's see if he can quell the late inning firestorm from the T-Bolts as they threaten with bases loaded and no outs. The first pitch to Walters is fouled off.
No outs on the board for the Thunderbolts yet. Max will need to retire 3 for the Big Train to walk away the victors.
The 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2. You can feel the energy here inside of Montgomery Blair. It has skyrocketed over the past couple of innings. The 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. So Martzoff blowing away Walters with fastballs. And that'll bring up the catcher, Ethan Warner.
So Walters taking his first strike of the night. As I mentioned, his previous 4 at-bats, he's gotten contact on the ball, gotten a hit off. Martzoff leaves him swinging.
The first pitch to Warner's in the dirt for a ball. Martzoff leaning heavily on that fastball. The 1-0 paints the inside corner for a strike. It's been all gas, no brakes for Martzoff thus far.
Warner, another member of the starting lineup that has yet to see a strikeout.
As that fastball swung on and missed for strike 2.
His previous at-bat, he got a base hit. Before that was a walk. And before that, he was hit by a pitch to get on base.
In a 2-strike hole with 1 out. Here comes the pitch. That one low and inside for ball 2.
As you mentioned, the Thunderbolts dugout getting loud as they're staring down a potential comeback victory. The Big Train dugout, on the other hand, calmly.
The 2-2 pitch is fouled off, out of play. Martzoff working the low outside corner that time with the fastball.
Calmly watching their defense do their job out on the field and on the mound.
The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. So back-to-back Ks for Martzoff.
Handing
Puts the Big Train 1 out away from getting back to 500.
So as you mentioned, Martzoff back-to-back Ks, handing 2 of the Thunderbolts starting lineup members their first strikeouts of the night.
So the third baseman, Bryce Curry, represents Silver Spring-Tacoma's last hope. The first offering to Curry's in the dirt for a ball. The 1-0 pitch, inside for ball 2. The 2-0 pitch, in there for a strike.
So Martzoff battling back in the count.
Really leaning on that fastball. Here comes the 2-1. Inside for ball 3.
Again, the Thunderbolts had the heart of their lineup towards the end.
The 3-1 pitch, low for ball 4. So that'll walk in the 5th run for the T-Bolts, and they now trail by just 3.
And with bases loaded, pinch hitter Quadros has the opportunity to secure the victory.
The go-ahead run now on first. What would be, the tying run on first. The go-ahead run at the plate as Quadros fouls the first pitch off for a strike. Apologies for the messed up arithmetic. Quick addition is not my strong suit. The 0-1 pitch in there for strike 2. Quadros thought that was inside, but nevertheless is now in an 0-2 hole, down to his final strike. The 0-2 pitch is in there for strike 3, and the Big Train, a huge victory here in Silver Spring as they knock off the T-Bolts 8-5 to get back to 500 on the season, and they pick up their first road victory of the season.
What a game. You know, we said it again and again. It's not over until it's over. And folks, it's over. For the second time this season, your Big Train has earned themselves a victory over the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. They've picked up their first road win of the season, sporting their home jerseys. Perhaps that brought them some good luck on the road. Your Big Train's going to be heading back home tomorrow night to Shirley Povich Field. What a win. They worked hard. They played a different strategy, getting in those base hits, getting players on base, and bringing them home. As Kaylee mentioned, not going for the swing of the fences, big, huge hits, and instead playing smart, and has brought them a lot of success here tonight.
Their offense was methodical and, most importantly, successful as the Big Train moved to 5-5 on the season with an 8-5 victory over the T-Bolts. As you said, Phoebe, they'll be headed back home tomorrow for Harry Potter night. Should be a really, really fun one. I might have to take my house test tonight to see which one I am in. I'll mention that on the broadcast tomorrow. For our production assistant, Jordan Parham, for my broadcast partner, Phoebe Winters, I'm Quentin Corpuel saying so long from Montgomery Blair High School. We'll catch you tomorrow here on Big Train Baseball Network.